In a previous video, I put Dectin through some pretty rigorous testing. And in this video, I'm doing the same thing to quartz. And I want to see just how good quartz is. I'm going to scratch it, burn it, light it on fire, drop a sledgehammer on it, and see how it resists stains. If you're in the market for quartz countertop or just curious, stay tuned to the end because this video will show you what quartz can and cannot handle. Let's scratch this thing. Let's do this. This piece of quartz stood up very well to me scratching it. When I started banging it with the screwdriver edge, not so much. Hopefully you can see right here, all these little dots right here. These are not flecks of countertop, it's damage marks from the screwdriver, little indents and little chips. So there's scratches on it for sure, but the pattern helps to hide it. So overall, like it stood up very well, though I can definitely see some scratching. So if you're going with any kind of pattern, especially something that's more speckled like this, scratches wouldn't show up as much. Now as far as chipping, yes, it definitely chipped. It got all kinds of little spots here. As a countertop surface and what you're going to be using this for in your kitchen, you're not going to be smashing it with this screwdriver. In fact, I think I damaged the end of the screwdriver because this is a very hard surface. You're going to be cutting on this surface, though I don't recommend cutting on it, and they don't recommend you cutting on it either. One, it can damage your blades, and two, it is susceptible to some scratching, but quartz is very, very highly scratch resistant. So when I'm staring at it straight on, very hard to see. The little dents actually kind of look part of the countertop. But when I, change it around and look at in the sun glare, there's definitely some scratching. I highly doubt anyone's going to be using a screwdriver like this or any kind of tool in the kitchen directly on their countertop like that unless they're trying to scratch it. So for normal use in your kitchen or even extreme uses, this is very, very durable. Very impressed. Let's get some flames on this thing before we light it on fire completely. I want to see how resistant it is to direct flame with this blowtorch, and then we're just going to pour gasoline on the thing and let her roll. All right, here we go. Evie, you ready?
Yep. Oh my gosh!
Okay, wow, that lit on fire. You can obviously see right here that it completely discolored that surface, and it actually lit on fire. What I'm trying to simulate here is if you take a scalding hot pot from your stove and put it on your countertop. Like that's where most people find that they have the biggest issue. Or maybe a crock pot that has been sitting all night on their countertop, or just a very hot surface. What will happen? Under extreme heat, this is what happens. So I say definitely use a trivet or some kind of heat-resistant tray underneath anything hot. Definitely don't put anything directly on these surfaces. Although they do withstand heat to a degree. Get it? A degree? Sorry. They will not withstand high temperatures. And this is what happens after they are heated. So the resin just kind of goes and you get that dust. This is what happens when you blowtorch your quartz. Cool. Alright, so this is secure with the C-clamp. It's not going anywhere. I'm trying to simulate what this would be like if it was installed. Let's see just how chip resistant this edge is. And this is just a regular carpenter's hammer. Pretty light. You were hammering something up above, maybe putting a picture up somewhere and you dropped your hammer. You ready?
Yeah.
Good, no visible damage. Maybe you're tenderizing. So my overhang here is trying to simulate what your overhang would be on your kitchen cabinets. Normally you'd have a little bit of an overhang. So this is about what you'd have. If this was the edge of your cabinet, you'd have a door there, and so you have this little bit of an overhang. So that's the spot that could be damaged if something were to happen. I'm very impressed. So that didn't even do anything. So make a loud noise. This is a smaller sledgehammer, slightly heavier than a cast iron skillet. This is about a foot. Here we go. Might have damaged the compressor. Shoot. About the same height as the stump probably, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Alright, so you can see a hairline crack right here. Hairline crack. I think we need to try this with the Dectin. All right, so now we have our Dectin piece secured the same way we just had our piece of quartz. What's your prediction, Eva?
It's gonna break.
It's gonna smash to smithereens, you think?
Yep.
You ready? Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I know from experience to be careful with the edges because they do slice. Dectin is going to smash completely differently than quartz. This you can't live with. I'm sorry, Dectin. I really, really like the fact that you're so resistant to everything else, but definitely not resistant to smashes. Extreme circumstances because I'm using a sledgehammer, but it is secure. We did it on both so that you can see the difference in how it responds. Okay, so in the last test, I lit on fire a piece of Dectin, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing with this piece of quartz that we've already blowtorched, so we already know basically what's gonna happen to this thing. All right, we need some gasoline, guys.
Wow.
All right, wish me luck. All right, let's see how this wipes up, though I have my doubts. Oh, you know what? Okay. This is just a rag. There's no cleaner on this.
Oh wow.
So the only spots that were really affected were the spots that I blowtorched and completely destroyed the surface. But for that little fire, I'm really impressed how this held up. I have to admit, Eva, I did not expect it to do that well.
Me either.
So how do you interpret these results? Well, the likelihood that you're going to blowtorch your countertop, very low. The likelihood that you could catch fire to your countertop, probably low as well. But the likelihood that you're going to put something hot on your countertop directly from your stove is probably considerably higher than anything else. Depending on how hot it is, I guess depends on what your results are going to be. It's been pointed out to me that this isn't really fair. You're not going to have a sledgehammer in your kitchen, but because I did it with the Dectin, I want to do it with this to see how it does compare.
What?
I want you to see the difference between this and the Dectin. This handled the sledgehammer much better. It didn't disintegrate nearly into a million pieces. The result is basically the same. It smashed. So, you know, that's what you have to deal with. All right, so last night I applied these various substances to these samples. So we have ketchup, mustard, a beet, strawberry, turmeric, coffee, nail polish, a Sharpie marker, and this is ABS cement used for your pipes. Someone said in India that turmeric they use often and it gives them problems on their quartz. I want to see how this particular one stands up. Well, that's really interesting. So obviously the nail polish, the ABS cement, and the marker didn't come off, but can you see the turmeric? Turmeric is the only thing that's stained. Everything else wiped off with just water. I didn't use any cleaner. And of course these didn't wipe off yet. Let's see if the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser will take care of that turmeric. And this has been sitting for over 12 hours. Huh. Yeah, it's still there, but a little better. It's still a little bit there, but really it's really hard to see. Let's try the Magic Eraser on the marker. The marker comes right off with Magic Eraser. And, oh, yeah, that just came right off, so that didn't stain anything. If you're afraid of nail polish remover, don't worry about it. But with a razor blade, you could easily get that off. You can see this, the ABS cement didn't do anything. And the marker, there is a slight stain from the marker. So will quartz stain? Yes, it will stain. They're still green and there's still a little bit of mark from the turmeric. Overall, pretty good. Why does it stain? How come it stains if it's impervious? The difference between this and granite is that granite has natural pores. Those natural pores absorb water. That can discolor the surface. And anything that's in that water can discolor the surface as well. Quartz doesn't have pores, it is non-porous, but there is resin and chemicals can react with that resin and can stain it. So the marker definitely had an effect, and the turmeric definitely had an effect. Do I recommend quartz countertop? I absolutely do recommend quartz countertop for the reasons that we've shown in the video, is that it will go through a lot of damage and still stand up pretty well. If you like this video, chances are you like what I've posted in the past and what I'm going to post in the future, because I'm going to do the same things to a piece of granite slab that is 1.25 inches thick and pretty big. Pretty excited to do these same tests on a piece of granite. Consider subscribing if you like this video. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching.